Chapter 4 deals with human development. We will start with the meaning of development. As human beings, we constantly grow throughout our lifespan, from conception to death. We not only change physically, but we also change in the way we think, use language, develop social relationship, etc. That means changes are not confined to any one area of person's life, but it occur in an integrated manner. As we grow physically, our cognitive and social emotional abilities are also developing. So it is an integrated process. Development mostly involves changes, both the growth and decline. Decline is observed during old age. The psychologists, they strive to understand and explain how and why people change throughout life. Many of the changes are normal and expected. We can predict these things will be going to happen in our life or in somebody's life, that we can predict. So most of the changes are normal and expected. That is why we are able to predict it. But then it can still cause challenges that people sometimes need extra assistance to manage. Sometimes these development may not be integrated. Sometimes some area may not develop. So in that case, people need extra assistance to manage. So development is a change. It includes both growth and decline. Decline is seen towards the old age, and this change happens throughout our life from conception till death. Development. What is it? It is a progressive series of change. So development is basically a change, and it is a progressive series of change. In what all areas these changes happen? In structure, function and behavior pattern. And these change occur over the lifespan. That is, throughout your life the change will occur from the conception till death of a human being. So development is a progressive series of change in structure, function and behavior pattern that occur over the lifespan of a human being. Let's understand this with example. Consider yourself. You are a baby, very small. You cannot walk or talk or do much of anything. What you mainly do is like you will cry, that's it. Then you grow and become a kid. Then what happens? You will learn how to walk, run, jump, etc. And then you will be able to talk. Then you will be able, or you will learn how to express your thoughts. And you will tell the people what you wanted. You ask your parents what you need. So you will be able to talk, walk, run and jump. Then what happens? You will learn how to recognize when you are feeling sad or lonely and how to deal with those emotions. For example, if your parents are working and when they go for work in the morning, you may feel sad and you will feel lonely. But as the time passes, you learn that they will go in the morning and will be back by evening only, and no use of crying from the morning to evening. So you will learn to deal with the emotion. Then you become a teenager. You will learn more complex things like the algebra, critical thinking, etc. Then you learn how to think about others' needs as well as your own. You will think about your needs and you will consider others. Maybe your siblings, your friends, whoever it is, you will consider others' need also. Then you recognize just because you want something, it doesn't mean that you will get it. Maybe you will see something in some other person's hand, then you may feel like you want it, but you know that what you want doesn't mean that you will get it. Then you become adult. You will learn how to be in a healthy romantic relationship. You will get married, you will become a parent and grow into the role of the caretaker. Then in a professional life, your career become more advanced. You will deal with more responsibilities. New challenges will come and you will learn to deal with all those things. Whatever happens in your personal life and in your professional life. Then your life change even more. Your children will move out. They start their own life. Then you will retire. Maybe you will learn to garden. You learn to engage your spare time. Again, changes are happening. You are learning more things. Then you learn how to deal with physical weakness. When you become old, chances are there your eyesight may get diminished. You may get joint pains. So you will learn to deal with all those things. So these are certain examples of development. And this development happens at all stages of a person's life. That you understood, right? So this is development and it is change and it happens throughout your life. We have learned that development is an integrated process. So it includes the biological development, the cognitive development and the socio-emotional development. And these all happens through the biological process, cognitive process and the socio-emotional process. Now let's see what are these. The biological process includes the physical development. That is your height, weight, then brain, heart and lung development, etc. All these things happens due to the inherited genes from your parents. So maybe you resemble your parent in height and weight. These are due to the genes inherited from your parents. And these comes under the biological process of development. Then comes cognitive process. So physically you develop, then what are included in the cognitive development area? It involves the mental activities that is associated with the process of knowing and experiencing, such as thought, perception, attention, problem solving, etc. So, there will be a physical development, then there will be a development in the mental processes, and then comes the socio-emotional process. As you grow, you interact with people in your family and in your society. So this includes the social process and it helps in your social development. Then there will be changes in the emotions. There will be changes in the personality and you will learn to deal with the emotions. This comes under the emotional process. For example, the emotional process like a child hugging their mother, then your affection towards your siblings, etc. comes under the emotional process. As you grow, you learn emotions. And the changes in the emotion, you learn to deal with that. So, the overall development of a human being, it is the integration of these three processes: biological, cognitive and socio-emotional. Developmental psychology. It is a branch of psychology. In the earlier times, the developmental psychology was used to understand the mental, emotional and cognitive growth of children only, because the changes to the human being usually occur during the childhood. The biggest changes occur in childhood. So, the focus of the developmental psychology was to understand the changes or the growth in children only. Then, the developmental psychology is used to understand the development of individual throughout the entire lifespan, because it was learned that changes continue to occur in adulthood. So now the developmental psychology is used to understand the development of the individual throughout their entire lifespan, that is from conception till death, because the changes continue to occur throughout the life. Developmental psychology is also important for helping those with developmental disabilities. And the developmental psychology have three main goals. These are to describe, explain and optimize development. Describe means focusing on the patterns of change and individual variations on the patterns. So changes occur, and how the change occur, the psychologist will describe it. Then they explain their findings. They study the changes. Development means changes and that occur throughout a person's life, and the psychologists study these changes. They describe the changes and they explain why and how this happens. They will explain their findings, and it is used to optimize the development in children and adults. And they use the theories from the developmental psychology to optimize learning also. So they describe the changing patterns and then explain how and why these changes happens, and their learnings they are utilized to optimize the development in the child, in the adult, in the elderly and in the disabled. And these learnings are used to optimize the knowledge base. So these are the goals of developmental psychology. So it studies the development of the individual throughout the entire lifespan, and the goals are to describe the change, explain how and why it happens, and the learnings are used to optimize the development. Now let's have a quick recap on what we have learned. We have learned the meaning of development. It is a progressive change and it involves three main processes: the biological, cognitive and socio-emotional process, and the integration of these three helps in the development of the human being. And the branch of psychology that deals with the study of the development is known as developmental psychology. Hope you like this video. Please subscribe and share. Thank you and keep smiling.